Okay, so this is why we like Pierre Poilievre, because he's able to express things. He's not afraid to express things just clearly in a way that represents reality. So, conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says the Trudeau government, British Columbia Premier David Eby, and corrupt pharmaceutical companies caused the drug epidemic. So, before we start this, it should just be noted, and I've done videos on this as well, which are very interesting using government statistics, right? And you can subscribe to the channel and check that out. But in, say, British Columbia, for instance, British Columbia started what they call harm reduction strategies, right? So that's like free needles, that's like injection sites, that sort of thing, reducing punishments for like possession of drugs, all of that. Since then it is evolved into actually giving people drugs. So let's hear what Pierre has to say about it, because all we get from the far left, from the NDP or the Liberals in Canada, from Trudeau, is that this saves lives, when statistically it's just false. But let's take a look.
We were told that decriminalizing crack, heroin, cocaine, and other hard drugs was proven by all the experts to work. And then if we added to that taxpayer-subsidized opioids, which they called, ironically, a safe supply, that somehow this was going to protect addicts from overdoses. What has happened? The data's in, the debate is over. We've had 40,000 overdose deaths in the last 8 years, a 200% increase. And where these policies have been tried most enthusiastically, the results have been the most horrifying. BC is ground zero, because not only does Justin Trudeau's policies apply here, but David Eby and the NDP policies have applied here as well. And that is why what they did is they took a walk down the downtown east side 10 years ago, and they said, why don't we try this everywhere? And they expanded the model nationwide. And the irony is, how did the opioid crisis start in the first place? A bunch of corrupt pharmaceutical companies lied to the medical system so that they could push OxyContin on desperate working class people who were out of luck, out of a job, and out of hope. And they caused a crisis on which they made billions. They knew exactly what they were doing. Documents prove they were literally paying bonuses to the distributors for each overdose they caused. They wanted to supercharge sales. That's how it started. Pharmaceutical grade opioids. And now, what is the so-called safe supply? Pharmaceutical grade opioids, profiting the same companies to give out the same drugs that caused the crisis in the first place. And just yesterday, the RCMP confirmed that thousands of these pills have made their way into the hands of organized crime. So your tax dollars are paying for organized criminals to get their hands on the same pharmaceutical drugs that caused the crisis in the first place. This is insanity. I will put an end to it. We will stop funding drugs and start funding treatment and recovery to bring our loved ones home drug-free.
So what is it? It's a cycle of dependence and misery. That's the left wing, far left solution right now. Always is, actually. Cycle of dependence and misery. Right? Dependent on the government for everything, including hard drugs, including meth and cocaine, which, by the way, this cycle of dependence and misery culminates in medical assistance in dying, or MAID, as they call it in Canada. They'll give you the drugs to make your life so horrible that you'll want to kill yourself, and then the government will kill you. You just have to ask them. Don't even have to ask nice. They're happy to do it. Maybe they give you, a thank you for your vote or something, right before the end. I don't know. And this is what they call empathy, by the way.